Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Friday, July 17th, 2020. Today I'm going to recap this morning's KBO games, look ahead to the weekend's games, go over yesterday's soccer games in La Liga, Premier, and MLS, and look ahead to today and the weekend's games. Take a current look at the leaderboard in golf. I'm going to preview and pick the 3 NASCAR races this weekend. I'll talk about the Season 1 finale of Celebrity Watch Party, MLB Shortstop ranks, and my 2012 top 10 albums. Alright, we'll start with the KBO. Interesting results to say the least from yesterday, and then we'll look ahead to the games for today and the weekend as well, as I mentioned. So without further ado, here we go. You have the Wyverns over the Heroes 12-9. The Wiz and the Dinos ended in a 3-3 tie. The Twins over the Eagles 8-0. The Tigers over the Bears 4-2. And the Lions over the Giants 10-5. So tomorrow, all games at 5 o'clock a.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock p.m. out in Korea tomorrow. You have the Bears at the Tigers, the Heroes at the Wyverns, the Giants at the Lions, the Eagles at the Twins, the Wiz at the Dinos, and then the same matchups on Sunday, except at 4 o'clock a.m. Eastern, 5 o'clock p.m. out in Korea. In terms of how they're going to go, I think the Twins will win both matches against the Eagles. I think that the Giants and the Lions will split. I think that the Bears and the Tigers will split. I think the Dinos will sweep. And I think that the Bears will bounce back and win both games against the Wyverns. A quick look at the standings before the weekend. And by the way, this could very well be the last time we cover the KBO on the show, because you have Major League Baseball starting in less than a week from today. You have the Dinos at 40-19-1. You have the Bears at 36-25, 5 back of the Dinos, 6 back in the loss column. We have the Heroes at 37-26, tied with the Bears, but the Heroes have played 2 more games and are 1 back in the loss column. The Tigers are 32-27. They are 3 back of the Heroes, but 1 back in the loss column. The Twins are 31-29-1. They are a game and a half back of the Tigers, with 2 back in the loss column. The Lions are 32-30. They are tied with the Twins, although 1 back in the loss column. The Wiz are 31-30, tied with the Lions in the loss column. The Giants are 29-30, tied with the Lions in the loss column, but they've played 2 less games than the Wiz, but 3 less games than the Lions, unless there's a tie in there that is not accounted for in the standings. But all 3 of those teams each have 30 losses. The Wyverns are 19-43. They are 11.5 back of the Giants, 13 back in the loss column, and the Eagles are 17-45, 2 back of the Wyverns and 2 back in the loss column. Now we're going to go over the soccer games from yesterday and look ahead to today and the weekend. We'll start with La Liga. Eibar over Valladolid 3-1. Eibar is now 11-9-17 with 42 points. Valladolid 8-15-14 with 39 points. Osasuna upset Barcelona 2-1. Osasuna 13-12-12 with 51 points. Barcelona 24-7-6 with 79 points. Granada over Mallorca 2-1. Granada 15-8-14 with 53 points. And Mallorca 9-5-23, 32 points. Levante over Celta Vigo 3-2. Levante 13-7-17, 46 points. Celta Vigo 7-15-15, 36 points. Real Sociedad and Sevilla ended in a 0-0 draw. Real Sociedad 16-7-14, 55 points. Valencia 14-11-12 with 53 points. I'm sorry, that was Valencia. Sevilla is 18-13-6 with 67 points. Alaves over Real Betis 2-1. Alaves with the surprising win, 10-9-18 with 39 points, and Real Betis 10-11-16 with 41 points. Valencia over Espanyol 1-0. Valencia 14-11-12 with 53 points. Espanyol 5-9-23 with 24 points. Atletico Madrid over Getafe 2-0. Atletico Madrid 18-15-4 with 69 points. And Getafe drops to 14-12-11 with 54 points. A lot of red cards in yesterday's matches, I've noticed. And Real Madrid defeats Villarreal 2-1 to clinch the Liga. Real Madrid 26-8-3 with 86 points. And Villarreal 17-6-14 with 57 points. And Leganes over Athletic Club 2-0. Leganes is 8-11-18 with 35 points. And the Athletic Club drops to 13-12-12 with 51 points. Sunday's the last day of the regular season in La Liga. You have Alaves hosting Barcelona. I'm going to go with Barcelona here on the road. Although, do I feel good about it? No. I can see a little letdown after clinching the La Liga title. So, actually, I'm not going to pick Barcelona. I'm going to go with a draw here because Alaves is coming off a win themselves. I think they have a letdown and Barcelona is a letdown. And my soccer theory is 2 letdowns equal draw. So I'm going to go with the draw in Alaves and Barcelona. And that's at 11 a.m. Eastern on Sunday. 12:30 p.m. Eastern on Sunday at Villarreal and Eibar. This match is a tough-ish call. But I'm going to go with Villarreal. I just think that they're better. So give me Villarreal at home against Eibar. 12:30 p.m. Eastern, you have Valladolid and Real Betis. These two teams are somewhat even, I would say. So I'm going to go with the draw here between these two teams. Osasuna and Mallorca at 3 o'clock Eastern. I'm going to go with Osasuna at home. Even though they're coming off the upset over Barcelona. But Mallorca is just really bad. So I'm going to go Osasuna in what should be a competitive game. Atletico Madrid against Real Sociedad at 3 o'clock Eastern. This should be a fun match. I'm going to go with Atletico Madrid at home. Although I think this game will be competitive. Levante and Getafe. Interesting matchup here. I'm going to go with Getafe. They're better than keeping the ball out of their own net. So give me Getafe on the road. Granada and the Athletic Club at 3 o'clock Eastern. I'm going to go with the Athletic Club on the road. I just think that they are better than keeping the ball out of their own net than Granada is. Although Granada is a slightly better goal-scoring team. Espanyol and Celta Vigo at 3 o'clock Eastern. I'm going to go with Celta Vigo on the road. Don't feel good about it because Celta Vigo is not very good. It's more of a pick against Espanyol than a pro Celta Vigo pick. Leganes and Real Madrid. I'm going to go with Leganes at home. I think Real Madrid has a little bit of a letdown after clinching the title. So I'm going to go with Leganes here at home. And then Sevilla and Valencia at 3 o'clock Eastern. I'm going to go with Sevilla. They're the better goal scoring and goaltending team. So give me Sevilla at home against La Liga. And now we'll move on to Premier League and go over those results. Everton and Aston Villa ended in a 1-1 draw. Everton 12-10 and 14, 46 points. Aston Villa 8-7 and 21 with 31 points. Leicester City over Sheffield United 2-0. Leicester City good bounce back win 18-8 and 10, 62 points. Sheffield United 14-12 and 10, 54 points. Southampton and Brighton ended in a 1-1 draw. Southampton 13-6 and 16, 46 points. Brighton 8-13 and 15 with 37 points. And Manchester United over Crystal Palace 2-0. Manchester United 17-11 and 8, 62 points. Crystal Palace 11-9 and 16, 42 points. Today at 3 o'clock you have West Ham at Watford, or hosting Watford. West Ham 9-7 and 19, 34 points. Watford 8-10 and 17, 17 points. Both these teams are atrocious. So I'm going to say the difference here is West Ham's ability to put the ball in the net. So I'm going to go with West Ham at home. Tomorrow, Norwich City against Burnley, 12:30 p.m. Eastern. Another mediocre matchup. Burnley 14-9 and 13, 51 points. Norwich City 5-6 and 25, 21 points. I'm picking Burnley. We're moving on because Norwich City sucks. And Sunday you have two games. Bournemouth against Southampton at 9 a.m. Eastern. Bournemouth 8-7 and 21 with 31 points. Southampton 13-7 and 16, 46 points. I am going to go with Southampton. I think they're the better team and they're home. 11 a.m. Eastern, you have Tottenham and Leicester City. Tottenham 15, 10, 11, 55 points. Leicester City 18, 8, and 10, 62 points. I'm going to go with Tottenham here. This is more of an anti-Leicester City pick and how inconsistent they've been. So give me Tottenham in what would be considered an upset here. And now I'm going to do MLS results and look ahead to the games going on over the weekend. So last night, Toronto FC over Montreal Impact 4-3. Toronto got on the board first on a goal by Richie Larea, the middle fielder, to go up 1-0. And in the 14th minute of the game, the Impact come back and tie it on a goal by Ramel Kyoto. And then Toronto takes a 2-1 lead on a goal by Ao Akinola. Then Akinola scores again in the 37th minute to go up 3-1. And then Montreal gets within a goal on a penalty kick goal by Sphere Tater in the 37th minute as well. And then Akinola scores again for the hat trick in the 83rd minute for Toronto to go up 4-1. And then Tater scores again via penalty kick in the 95th minute in extra time to make it a closer score than it really seemed at 4-3. Columbus over the Red Bulls 2-0. Columbus, in the 22nd minute of the game, get on the board on a goal by Gasay Zardes to go up 1-0. And then in the 47th minute, to start off the second half, they go up 2-0 on a goal by Lucas Zellerian to seal it and go up 2-0. And then the Red Bulls are shut out and Columbus comes away victorious. 3 games tonight. DC United New England at 8 o'clock Eastern. This is a Group B match. I'm going to go with New England here. I think they're the better team. So give me the New England Revolution here to knock off DC United. Sporting KC and the Colorado Rapids. I'm going to jump on the Colorado Rapids one more time here because I thought they'd be the surprise team of the tournament. I'm not going to give up on them quite yet. Consider this just a bounce back spot for them. I know KC has a loss as well. So I think that these two teams really are under some pressure. So give me Colorado. Do I feel good about it? No, I think a draw could very well be in play for tonight, but give me Colorado. 10:30 p.m. Eastern tonight, Real Salt Lake against Minnesota. These two teams each have 3 points. Real Salt Lake's better. Although I can see both teams having a letdown, this be a draw, but I'm going to go with Real Salt Lake. I think they're the more talented team on the field in this game, led by Giuseppe Rossi and Kyle Beckerman. So give me Real Salt Lake to get it done tonight against Minnesota. 2 games tomorrow night, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern. You have Portland and the Houston Dynamo. These two teams are in Group D. Portland has 3 points, Dynamo 1. I'm going to go with Dynamo here. Portland, I could see having a little bit of a letdown here, so give me the Dynamo to beat Portland on Saturday night. And at 10:30 p.m. on Saturday night, you have the Battle of LAFC against Galaxy. These two teams are in Group D. I think FC is the more talented team than Galaxy this year, although FC is missing the reigning MVP. So give me LAFC to get the win tomorrow night. And then Sunday, 2 games. You have Chicago and San Jose in a Group F showdown. I think the Fire are a bad team. I don't think they're any good. You could talk me into a letdown from San Jose as well after that come-from-behind win against Vancouver. But I just think that the Fire are not good. So give me San Jose to follow up that win and avoid the letdown. Seattle and Vancouver on Sunday night at 10:30. Also Group F, I'm going to go with the Sounders. They're the better team, the more talented team. So give me the Sounders on Sunday night over Vancouver. And then Monday morning at 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern, you have Inter Miami against the NYCFC. Group A. Tough call here. Miami's obviously an expansion team. NYCFC coming off a loss. I'm going to go with NYCFC one last time here. They're obviously winless so far in the tournament. I think they're due, and I think they're going to come out and win this game on Monday morning. So give me NYCFC over Inter Miami for the win. Now I'm going to take a look at the leaderboard for golf. Been an interesting Memorial Tournament so far. Your leader, as of right now, is Gary Woodland with a score of -7. Tied for second is John Rahm and Ryan Palmer with a score of a -6. Fourth place, you have Tony Finau at a -5. In fifth place, you have Brendan Steele with a score of a -4. Tied for sixth, you have Mackenzie Hughes, you have Steve Stricker, and you have Charles Howell, all with the score of a -3. Oh, and Jim Fruke. Big tie for 10th with a score of a -2. You have Mark Hubbard, Ryan Moore, Luke List, Max Homa, Jordan Spieth, Patrick Cantlay, Patrick Rogers, Lucas Glover, Henrik Norlander, Sergio Garcia, Lanto Griffin, Ches Reavie, and Harry English. Tied for 23rd with a score of a -1, Scotty Scheffler, and Byung Hun, Vijay Singh, Kevin Na, Brendan Todd, Brooks Koepka, and Rory McIlroy. Tied with 31st at even, you have Zhongjin Zhang, Lewis Olson, Wyndham Clark, Matt Wallace, Scott Piercy, Abraham Ancer, C.T. Pan, Carl Pedersen, Jimmy Walker, Siwoo Kim, Matt Kuchar, Tiger Woods, Adam Long, Jason Dofner, Daniel Berger, and Christian Bidzenhout. Notables tied for 1 over in 47th place, Bryson DeChambeau and Phil Mickelson. Notables tied for 58th with 2 over, Justin Thomas, Sung-Hoon Kang, Justin Thomas, Victor Hovland, and Matthias Schwab. Oh, and Justin Rose and Shane Lowry are in there as well. It's a big tie. In the tie for 80th with 3 over, Hideki Matsuyama, Matthew Fitzpatrick, Harold Varner III, Tyler Duncan, Zach Johnson. In the tie for 94th, you have JT Potts and Colin Morikwa, Adam Hadwin. In the tie for 103rd for 5th among notables, you have Sung Jae Im. In the tie for 108th with 6 over, Bubba Watson, Xander Schauffele, Webb Simpson. In the tie for 115th with 7 over, Ricky Fowler, Dustin Johnson. In the tie for 121st and 8th, oh, that's Dustin Johnson, my bad. And Fowler's in the tie for 115th with 7 over. In 9 over 124th place, Graham McDowell. In a tie for 125th with 10 over, David Lingermurth and Kevin Tway. Other notables on the board, Jason Kokrak, Danny Lee, both withdrew from the tournament. So there's your tournament update as we head into day 2 of the Memorial Tournament. Now I'm going to preview and predict the NASCAR races for the weekend. I'm going to start with Xfinity because that is the first race of the weekend, followed by trucks, and Sunday you have Cup. So the Xfinity starting lineup at Texas for Saturday afternoon. Michael Annett, Jeb Burton, Austin Cindric, Justin Allgaier, Riley Herbst, Brandon Jones, Harrison Burton, Ross Chaston, Noah Gragson, Anthony Alfredo, Justin Haley, Chase Briscoe, Dexter Bead, Brett Moffitt, Alex Labb, BJ McGlade, Ryan Sieg, Brandon Brown, Jesse Little, Jeffrey Earnhardt, Jeremy Clements, David Starr, Josh Williams, Joe Graff Jr., Stephon Parsons, Timmy Hill, Kyle Busch is in this race. Chad Fincha, Matt Mills, Bailey Curry, Cody Vanderwall, Kyle Weatherman, Vinny Miller, Colby Howard, Tommy Joe Martins, and Stephen Lick. So you would think because Kyle Busch is in this race as he's the unequivocal favorite, I'm going with him. Not so fast. I'm going to go with a little bit of a long shot, somebody that's been playing really well lately, and that's Ryan Sieg. Ryan Sieg has been racing very well lately, so I'm going to roll with him to come out and pull off this little upset here at Texas on Saturday afternoon. And now the starting lineup for the Truck Series race, which is on right after the Xfinity. And here is the Gardner RV and Outdoors Truck Series starting lineup for Saturday. Sheldon Creed, Grant Effinger, Austin Hill, Kyle Busch, Tyler Gilliland, Zane Smith, Christian X, Brett Moffitt, Tyler Anker, Ben Rhodes, Ty Majeski, Natalie Decker, Justin Haley, Ryan Truex, Matt Crafton, Raphael Lesser, Derek Kraus, Stuart Friesen, Spencer Davis, Tanner Gray, Johnny Sauter, Timmy Hill, Angela Rush, Ross Chasen, Akoni Ogata, Austin Wayne Self, Spencer Boyd, Jordan Anderson, Brendan Poole, Corey Roper, Tate Fogelman, Cody Rohrbach, Clay Greenfield, Tim Vines, Jennifer Jo Cobb, and Norm Benning. This race, I'm going to avoid Kyle Busch again. I'm going to go with the boy that Jeff Maglicetti chose on my show a few weeks back, and that is Austin Hill. Austin Hill's very good. He's come close a couple times recently, and I think he'll get it done on Saturday night under the lights in Texas. So give me Austin Hill to win the Gardner R&V Outdoors Truck Series race. Now, last but not least, the starting grid for the Cup Series race on Sunday at Texas. Eric Almirola, Ryan Blaney, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Brad Keselowski, Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, Joey Logano, Martin Truex Jr., Matt DiBenedetto, Alex Bowman, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Bubba Wallace, Ryan Newman, Chris Buescher, Clint Boyer, William Byron, Cole Custer, Jimmy Johnson, Austin Dillon, Matt Kenseth, Eric Jones, Tyler Riddick, Ryan Preece, Quinn Houff, Garrett Smithley, John Hunter Nemechek, Gary Galdling, Ty Dillon, J.J. Yealy, Brendan Poole, Chris Bell, Michael McDowell, Joey Gase, Corey LaJoie, Daniel Suarez, Timmy Hill, B.J. McLeod, and Reed Sorensen. Tough call here. There's some guys that have some good history at Texas from years past. I'm going to go with someone I don't think I've picked yet since the restart of the season. That's Martin Truex Jr. That was one of the drivers that Dan Wheeler last week threw out as a possibility at Kentucky. He's come close a couple weeks ago in the last few weeks. So why not? Martin Truex Jr. for the win at Texas this weekend. Now I'm going to talk about Celebrity Watch Party, the last two episodes of Season 1. It was a good finish to what was a fun quarantine show. So 2 Thursdays ago, the 9th. So the same crew, Romeo Master P, the Buck family, Raven Simone Mayday and her friends, Tyra Banks and her mother, Curtis Stone, Lindsay Price, Reggie and Lilith Bush, the Osbournes, JoJo Siwa and Mom, and Stephen Janet Wozniak. Shows and segment watches include World of Dance, Good Morning America on Kanye West's 2020 presidential campaign, which he dropped out of. Draws, Coyote Peterson, Brave the Wild, Married at First Sight Australia, Lenox Hill, and the 2020 Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. So Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest was an interesting call here for the show. And oh, by the way, there is an episode next week, so maybe that's the finale. So maybe I was wrong about Thursday being the finale. So, and then last week, pretty much the same celebrities plus Robert and Kim Herjavec. That's a different set of people that were in on the Star Spangled Couches episode. And this was Say I Do, Love a Watch Party. And then shows and segments watched included Labor of Love, Hostile Planet, Say I Do, Surprise Weddings, Good Morning America on RV travel during the pandemic, Revenge Park, and Dr. Pimple Popper and Misery. So we have another episode coming on the 23rd. The Couch is Lava. If we have time Thursday, we'll get to it and preview it, but that's the start of the baseball season, so we have a lot, obviously, to do for the show. Shortstop rankings for the 2020 season. This was an interesting list to put together, so let's get right to it. 31st, Orlando Arcia, Brewers, a prospect that really hasn't panned out yet. 30, Luis Urias, Brewers, same thing. Was on the Padres. They played him at second base, but shortstop obviously occupied by Fernando Tatis there, so they shipped him off in the trade. Maybe a change of scenery will help. 29, Nico Goodrum, Tigers. Nico Goodrum, mediocre shortstop on a bad team. 28, Jose Iglesias, Orioles. A good fielding shortstop, but never was a solid hitter. Made the All-Star team once. Although he was a good hitter, but he has declined of the last couple years. 27, Adalberto Mondesi, Royals. This is a guy that has some good upside, but really hasn't put it all together yet. 26, J.P. Crawford, Mariners. This is somebody that was highly touted with the Phillies, hasn't lived up to expectations, and then comes over in the trade and really hasn't been all that special. 25, Brandon Crawford, Giants. This is a player in decline. Not as good as he was in the beginning of last decade. 24, Miguel Rojas, Marlins. This is somebody that has surprisingly had somewhat decent stats. 23, Nick Ahmed, Diamondbacks. Nick Ahmed is interesting. Doesn't hit for average. Has a little bit of power. Number 22, Freddie Galvis, Reds. Freddie Galvis had a career year last year with the Blue Jays and the Reds. I think he's due for a little regression. 21, Ahmad Rosario, Mets. He had a career-ish kind of season too. This ranking could be completely right or completely wrong in either direction. 20, Kevin Newman, Pirates. Kevin Newman had some good stats, but just because he's on the Pirates, I kind of have to dick him for that. But he's not a bad player whatsoever. Plus, this position's pretty deep, too. 19, Dansby Swanson, Braves. Dansby Swanson, you would have thought would have been higher on this list if we did this a couple years ago. Because he was so highly touted. Everybody loved him. And he was the number 1 overall pick with the Diamondbacks, but never really panned out. Maybe the Diamondbacks knew something, although they probably shouldn't have traded him away for Shelby Miller, who's no longer in the league. Number 18, Elvis Andrus, Rangers. Elvis Andrus is interesting. Always been a good average hitter, but the power has just started to come along, and some may argue it's due to a juiced ball. 17, Andrelton Simmons, Angel. This guy is this high due to his defense alone. He's never really been a good offensive shortstop. His defense is what's been his game over the last couple years, and it's unfortunate because he's been injured a lot lately. 16, Willy Adames, Rays. This guy really hasn't lived up to expectations either. This guy was highly touted. He was the prize in the David Price trade back in 2014. Hasn't really lived up to expectations and won't be shocked if he's supplanted by Wander Franco by the middle of this year. 15, Didi Gregorius, Phillies. Didi is coming off arguably the worst year of his career, had a poor batting average and OPS, although his power was there. Made the Yankees let go of him, and they were fine doing so because of Gleyber Torres. And I think playing under his old manager, he could very well be motivated again. 14, Tim Anderson, White Sox. Tim Anderson had a career year last year, but I'm not convinced that he'll repeat that season. 13, Jorge Polanco, Twins, same thing. Career year, I think that he regresses just a little bit. 12, Paul DeJong, Cardinals. Paul DeJong's a really good player. It's unfortunate that he's not in the top 10 good power hitter. And I think he is one of the more underrated players on the Cardinals. 11, Bo Bichette, Blue Jays. This is a high ranking for somebody that has only played in a handful of Major League Baseball games. My expectations are high for this kid. I think he has a chance to be special. 10, Trey Turner, Nationals. This is a player that I think could finally put it all together. Pressure's on, though, because Anthony Rendon's gone. So they needed more than just Juan Soto to step up in that lineup. 9, Corey Seager, Dodgers. Corey Seager had Tommy John surgery a few years ago. He wasn't terrible last year coming off of TJS. I think that he'll be better this year than he was last year, though. 8, Marcus Semien, Athletics. Someone else that had a career year last year. I don't think he'll have the same season. I think that his power and average hitting could fall a little bit. And I don't think he's that great of a defensive player at shortstop either. 7th, Carlos Correa, Astros. Carlos Correa has been hurt a lot over the past couple years, and that's what's cost him a top 5 ranking. And plus, the Astros cheated a couple years ago, so gets a little bit of a dink for that as well. But he's a very talented player, and he's somebody that could very well put it all together eventually, but maybe he can get hot for 60 games. 6, Fernando Tatis Jr., San Diego Padres. This guy was special last year, and it's just unfortunate that he got injured, and then the Padres season fell apart after he got injured. But Tatis is a very special talent, and that could very well go down as the biggest mistake in White Sox history. Like, I'm not even kidding. Tatis for James Shields. Oh my God, what a disaster. 5, Trevor Story, Rockies. Trevor Story's a really good shortstop. He's another one that's like Arenado, like cores my ass. His numbers are good at and away from cores. But my issue with Story is that he's been hurt a couple times, and he's somebody that is on a bad team. So that kind of dinks him a little bit. 4th, Gleyber Torres, Yankees. This ranking could be very, very right or very, very wrong. And this ranking is courtesy of the great offensive stats that he put up last year. His defensive numbers are not where you want him to be, but I think going back to his normal position could help him. And I think that playing against the AL East dregs, that he's going to have a big season. 3, Xander Bogaerts, Red Sox. Xander Bogaerts is someone that is coming off his best career season, career high in homers. I think that the power could regress a little bit, and like Torres, he's not a great defensive player. Number 2, Javier Baez, Cubs. Javier Baez, these last 2 years have been awesome. He's very versatile. He's somebody that he has power. His average hitting has been getting better. He's fast. And I think he's going to have a good year for the Cubs coming up. And number 1, if there wasn't any doubt, Francisco Lindor, Cleveland Indians, the best shortstop in the game. Could hit for average. He's a switch hitter. Hit for power as well. I think that his name will be in trade rumors, but I think he will more likely than not finish the 60-game season with the Cleveland Indians. So there you have it, my shortstop rankings for the 2020 season. And before we go, I'm going to do my 2012 top 10 albums. A couple honorable mentions for you. Love is a 4-letter word, Jason Mraz, 3 singles off the album. MDNA, Madonna, 4 singles off the album. And Blown Away by Carrie Underwood, 4 singles off the album. And now, without further ado, my top 10 albums of the calendar year 2012. So, in 10th place, Uncaged Zac Brown Band. Came out in July 2012. 4 singles off the album: The Wind, Goodbye in Her Eyes, Jump Right In, and Sweet Annie. Ninth, Jason Aldean, Night Train. Came out October 16, 2012. 5 singles: Take a Little Ride, The Only Way I Know, 1994, Night Train, and When She Says Baby. Eighth, Fortune, Chris Brown. This was a really good album by Chris Brown. Came out July 3rd of 2012. 5 singles: Turn Up the Music, Sweet Love, Till I Die, Don't Wake Me Up, and Don't Judge Me. Number 7, Some Nights, Fun. This was a really good album by a band that was perceived as a little bit of a one-hit wonder band. Came out February 21st, 2012. 5 singles: We Are Young, Some Nights, Carry On, Why Am I the One, and All Alone. In 6th, you have Believe, Justin Bieber. Came out June 15th of 2012. 5 singles: Boyfriend, As Long As You Love Me, Beauty and the Beat, Right Here, and All Around the World. 5th place, Pink Friday, Roman Reloaded, Nicki Minaj. A very good album. Came out April 12th of 2012. 5 singles: Starships, Right By My Side, Bees in the Trap, Pound the Alarm, and Va Va Voom. In 4th place, Unorthodox Jukebox, Bruno Mars. Came out December 7th of 2012, so the very end of the calendar year. 5 singles: Locked Out of Heaven, When I Was Your Man, Treasure, Gorilla, and Young Girls. In 3rd place, Born to Die, Lana Del Rey. 6 singles off the album, which I think was an underrated album by Lana Del Rey. Came out January 27th of 2012. Those 6 singles: Video Games, Born to Die, Blue Jeans, Summertime Sadness, National Anthem, and Dark Paradise. Number 2, The Truth About Love, Pink. A fantastic album by one of the best singers of this century. September 18th, 2012, it came out. 6 singles: Blow Me, One Last Kiss, Try, Just Give Me a Reason, True Love, Walk of Shame, and Are We All We Are. And my number 1 album of 2012, Red, Taylor Swift. Came out October 22nd, 2012. 7 singles off the album: We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together, Begin Again, I Knew You Were in Trouble, 22, Red, Everything Has Changed, and The Last Time. So that's it for the show today. I'll be back on Monday recapping everything from the weekend. I'll do my 2012 top 10 MLB or NFL players and games. Tuesday will be MLB. Wednesday will be NBA. Thursday will be NHL, and it's the return of a segment that hasn't been had on the podcast since March. Best bet. I hope you guys have a great weekend, everyone.